So I opened Silent Hill 2 Remake with Unreal Engine level of expectation. So that means, please just don't be as bad as the previous one, okay? That's all I'm asking. And man, this looks bad, okay? We're talking about terrible HDR, so completely washed out picture. Like, impossible that the developers ever tried HDR with an OLED TV for this game. Impossible. I mean, it's broken, flat out just broken, terrible. I mean, a horror game is supposed to be all about the darkness. Okay, the darkness is all the time is dark. So if near black it looks too bright, it looks washed out, you don't have perfect blacks, the entire game just sucks. I mean, just visually, it's terrible. I don't care they added ray tracing or whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, so if the picture quality is terrible, nothing else matters. But now let's set HDR aside because we can easily fix that. We have reshade, we can force auto HDR, RTX HDR. There are many ways to get a good HDR, especially on the PC, okay? Now, this game is so blurry, man. And honestly, I don't know why these developers insist all the time, let's add all the defects from the movie industry. Okay, let's add chromatic aberration, which is a defect. It is not an artistic decision, okay? It's a problem with cameras. No, they think it's a good idea to make everything look messed up. So basically all the colors, you see like a red, blue fringing on the sides of the screen that just makes everything look blurry outside the center. And the overall presentation is terrible. Like, you have 4K that looks like less than 1080p, basically. Okay, it's just absolutely horrendous. And then on top of that, you have shimmering, and it just looks blurry because of that TAA. So it's unplayable to me. Okay, and not to mention that the game stutters. Okay, I haven't even played the game. I haven't even moved the character on the screen, and I already know that the game stutters. So imagine you start just actually playing the game. Now, the ghosting on this game, as you can see, all these particle effects, look at the ghosting. It is epic. This is probably the worst ghosting I've ever seen, okay? I mean, I don't think even Alan Wake 2, which was not using Unreal Engine, it was using something similar because it looks very similar, but it's terrible ghosting. But I don't think even Alan Wake has this level of ghosting. It's everywhere, okay? So now, what I'm showing you right now is not a solution, but it's at least something you can try to play the game, okay? And it looks so much better already. So I already fixed the HDR, and I'm using right now a mod that you can download for free, of course. I'm gonna link in the description of the video. This mod is called Silent Hill 2 Essentials, okay? And it was created by a member of our community, Hybrid, which, by the way, we're doing a live stream with Gaming Tech and Hybrid, the creator of this mod, today. And I think it is absolutely amazing because this mod is fine-tuned. Of course, he's removing all the post-processing garbage that I'm complaining about, at least as much as possible. And he's fine-tuning the clarity, the image clarity, depending on if you're using DLSS, FSR, quality, balance. If you want more performance, he has an ultra performance mode, which I tried, and it improved my frame rate massively. I'm talking about from 60 to like 85 frames. It improves the frame rate massively, but of course, it changes the entire game. But I think it is worth it if you want more performance. So this mod is crazy. Like, you know, I'm sure if you play Unreal Engine games, I'm sure you've downloaded one of these mods that adds 1 or 2 lines here to remove chromatic aberration, vignette, and all of that. Look at this. This is crazy. Look at the list of things that he's changing here. From here, basically, from here, all of that. all those lines to change things is a lot. And on top of that, he's using the DLSS tweaks. In this case, I tried the DLSS version. And for the ultra performance mode, he's also using reshade and just doing the ambient occlusion with reshade instead of with the gain to get more performance. So I highly recommend you to try this. It is great. And it's very easy to install. All you have to do is you have to copy the engine file. So there's an engine file that you just have to replace here. I'm gonna have the path to where this file is in the description of the video. But the only thing that's gonna be different is depending on the name of your PC. So mine is Plasma, then the path is gonna have that, and then in your case it might be your name or whatever you set up. But the path is gonna be very similar. You can follow it and find where this engine file is. So you have to replace that, and then you have to copy a folder to the actual game installation folder. That's it. That's all you have to do. Very simple. And I would recommend you to try all, quality, ultra performance, ultra quality. Again, I tried quality, which is the one I'm using right now, and I tried the ultra performance, and I think the change is, this is basically what I am looking for. So the creator of this mod, Hybrid, he knows exactly what I'm complaining about when he does these mods, because he's looking for the same thing, image clarity. But yeah, the ghosting is still terrible. The game is still going to stutter, but at least it looks so much more clear now. Especially all these trees here, it looks so much more clear, and it's not like terribly, over sharpened. Maybe a little bit over sharpened, but it's not terrible. So it's not like just adding, cranking up the sharpening slider. This is doing a lot, and I like a lot what it's doing. So highly recommended. Then the HDR of the game, what I would do is I would fix the black floor, and I would do the tone mapping with reshade. Now these settings are not final. I'm not even playing the game. So I would recommend you to tweak the settings yourself with more testing, because when you start playing the game, you might see a highlight that's brighter than this, maybe. So yeah, I'm not gonna recommend you exactly the settings that I try here. This was just a moment. I prefer, what I'm going to recommend you is to lower the black floor. So all the default, just leave all the default HDR settings of the game, and max out the peak brightness on the game. So basically, instead of lowering the HDR max luminance, to your display, what I would recommend you is to max that out to 5,000. Now you can try, for example, something like what Gaming Tech did in his video, and that definitely is gonna look much better. So try that. Maybe with that you're satisfied. You don't need to do anything else. But also try this if you want to fix it yourself. I would max out the HDR luminance and then just leave everything else at default. Of course, you can change the HDR UI brightness to your liking. That's not going to matter for the picture quality. So then if you're going to use reshade, what I would recommend you is to lower the black floor, but have the roll-off point in 1 nit. So the default is 10. So the reason why I like to lower this in this case, not always, but in this case, I would lower that to 1 nit. So what I'm talking about is, let me make this bigger here. It's actually as big as it gets. So what I'm talking about is this roll-off stopping point for the black floor. So you enable black floor lowering with this Lilium's HDR black floor fix shader. So just install reshade and select the HDR shaders by Lilium, and then I will lower this roll-off stopping point to 1. So because I don't want to make the near black too dark that you cannot see. So then after that, just type in here this old black point, basically the maximum value that you need to get perfect blacks. So you don't want to overdo it. So because you're gonna crush blacks. Not the maximum value, the minimum value you need to get perfect blacks. That's what you need to set up here. So I tried 0.077, for example. But again, this was very fast. These are not like final settings or anything like that. And then for the tone mapping, I tried BT2390, the maximum tone mapping brightness, 1200, because that's what I saw, but maybe the game is actually going to output 5000 nits later on a different scene. Maybe on this scene, I don't know why I'm getting this such a low max CLL. And then for the target brightness, whatever your display needs to do the best tone mapping, or no tone mapping at all. So yeah, fine tune this. Try the gaming text settings if you don't want to go through the hassle of fine tuning this. And definitely try the mod. Now, what I was thinking is, man, this looks so good. Why can't I just use these engine modifications for other Unreal Engine games? So I was trying it in Jedi's Survivor. And the thing is, I don't have an engine.ini file. The only file that I have is the game user settings file. So it doesn't work. I can replace the folder that he has with the DLSS tweaks, and maybe that would make a difference, but I couldn't see any difference. I was trying to look at the difference back and forth, and I didn't see. I did see a difference, but it might be just a frame-to-frame variance. It might be a placebo effect. Yeah, it does look sharper, but it's too small to declare a win here. But that's what I would like to know. I would like to know if I can use all these tweaks for more games. So basically, at least fix the image clarity issues. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions, and if you have any questions.